All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about what new trainer for Floyd Mayweather Jr., hence Gerald Tucker, hence may be on the horizon for him, and that is a full comeback to professional fighting for maybe a Sugar Ray Leonard type of comeback that could include the best fighters in the world, Terence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr., who are around his weight class. Let's talk about the very high likelihood of something like that happening, because almost nobody in Floyd Mayweather's position didn't do it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Before I get into the subject matter of the video though, please make sure that you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get all notifications. Notifications can be funny if you don't hit all notifications. And also support our partner BUSR at busr.ag/Fanon. Enter the promotional code Fanon, and for $10 that you wager, you will get an additional $150 to be able to wager with. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. All right, let's get into this. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is, according to Gerald Tucker, going to eventually make a full return to professional boxing, if not for a series of fights, definitely one fight or two fights, and that he is getting ready to fight the best and is able to fight the best fighters in the world. And he knows this because he's the new trainer, and Floyd is training for this fight, exhibition fight with Money Kicks, a YouTube guy out of Dubai, I do believe, which is just an exhibition fight. However, you know, Floyd has been staying pretty close to the ring on a regular basis, doing exhibition fights, making money in that particular fashion. He did it against Jake Paul, right? He did it against the guy in Japan, and now he's doing it against this guy Money Kicks. However, Gerald Tucker is saying that, and he said, I'm not giving away a lot. He was very careful with saying, I'm trying not to give away a lot, but let me tell you, I am very confident that he is going to come back for a full professional fight. And this, to me, is something that I've been thinking was going to happen for a while. Floyd is most definitely very, very active in boxing, has never stopped being active in boxing. And being a guy in his situation, I doubted very, very much that he was going to be able to stay retired forever. Something Andre Ward said, a ways ago, maybe, earlier this year, was like, look, it is very, one of the toughest things about being retired is being disciplined enough to stay retired, because especially for a guy that's undefeated like Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Floyd Mayweather Jr. still probably believes that nobody can beat him, and he's not going to believe that until he actually gets in a situation where somebody does beat him. So what Gerald Tucker is saying is now he's taken this training for Money Talks more seriously. He's bringing in a lot of sparring partners, guys that are, that are really big, guys that are undefeated at 16-0, 21-0, and saying Floyd Mayweather Jr. is having a very, very easy time with these guys. And, and as far as what you've seen with him in the exhibitions that he's had, that if he was really training and really trying to hurt these guys that he was fighting, that you would see the fights get done a lot quicker, like you did with the Japanese guy. But I do believe that he carried Conor McGregor a lot longer than he had to carry Conor McGregor, and he definitely was carrying Jake Paul or Logan Paul in the fight that he had with Logan Paul. But, this is just history. If he winds up doing this, this is literally history repeating itself. Sugar Ray Leonard was the same. Sugar Ray Leonard was the same way. Retired, came out of retirement, retired, came out of retirement. And until he actually lost a fight to Macho Camacho, and really lost it in a very, very bad way. He did not know that fight was over with. Now, as far as whether or not he's going to come out and fight guys like Terence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr., I'm not going to, honestly, man, I don't know what to expect with Floyd Mayweather Jr. in that regard. If the money is right and he's feeling really, really confident that, say, for example, an Errol Spence Jr. who's not been getting knockouts against Danny Garcia or against Mikey Garcia, or if he goes in there against Ugas and he doesn't get a knockout win against Yordenis Ugas, and he feels like, Errol Spence Jr. may be slipping a little bit, I wouldn't doubt that Floyd Mayweather Jr. might not try to come out there and do a one-off to try to do something that is super spectacular, do millions of pay-per-view buys, because if he did do that, it's going to do millions of pay-per-view buys. If he fought a guy like Errol Spence, if he fought a guy like Terence Crawford, if he came out and fought Canelo Alvarez in a rematch, that's a gigantic amount of money. If he fought Manny Pacquiao in a rematch, that would be a gigantic amount of money. So, I'm sure people are going to scoff at the idea that his new trainer is sharing, and they're saying, nah, he's never going to do that. We never do. But if you think about it carefully, like I said, he's never stopped fighting. Pretty much every year he's having an exhibition fight. He's staying busy. He's staying in the gym. He's staying close to weight. And if there's nothing else about Floyd Mayweather Jr., Floyd Mayweather Jr. is absolutely an attention hound. And when you fall in love with being famous, you fall in love with the crowds and all that. I know he's sitting there itching to get back, itching to do something. That's why he keeps doing these. That's why he keeps doing these exhibition fights, right? Also, you can't overlook the money aspect of it, man. If he does not come back, right, and fight these fights that he knows he can get, because if he came back and he tried to fight any of these guys, they would fight him. If he comes back and he fights any of these guys, that is going to be a ton of money for him, and it's going to be a gigantic sellout. And he's right, all of that. Don't be surprised if he becomes human and does not leave that money sitting on the table for himself and risk that that he has, which honestly, man, isn't really, it's really not that big a deal. The fact that he is 51 and that he's 50, well, is he 50-0? He's not 51-0, but if he did come back, dude, that is something where it could be some TBE type of chance to take against a legitimate champion, to come back against a legitimate champion. And again, these are not things that have not happened in the past. Joe Calzaghe has stayed retired. He did a decent job of doing that, of staying after he got, I believe he may have got to 47-0, right, and not taking any more fights. Andre Ward to date has not taken any more fights. My understanding is Rocky Marciano might even considered coming back for a rematch if he had not died in the plane accident. That plane accident that he died in. But whole lot of people that had, these records came back and took those fights for the money. Floyd has a very expensive lifestyle, and another $500 million in the bank probably, might be worth it to him. But anyway, that's what his trainer says. Those are my thoughts on the matter. As far as whether he could beat these guys or not, like I said, if they are really, really slipping and Floyd had a good game plan for it, there's nothing I've seen in the ring with him when he was professional that said he couldn't fight at that type of level. And if he seriously has not been training and is just kind of carrying these fighters in these exhibitions, you just don't know what to expect from him, man. But he is a tremendous fighter, and if his body can do what his mind wants it to do, sure, dude, he's definitely got a chance to beat anybody. But at this late stage, man, dude, he may just be selling that 50. He may be selling that zero but selling that zero for a lot of money. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.